Okay, thank you very much. The September the 10th meeting of the Albemarle County Electoral Board is now in session. We do have a quorum present. All three members are here. Need a motion to approve the final agenda.
I wanted to add something.
You want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to revisit our idea of division of labor, which we
Okay,
kind of started and then dropped to that would be under new business.
okay.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to take off under approved minutes, the September 8th minutes, because in the 2-day interval, the secretary has not had the chance to get them.
Can't imagine that. Thank you.
That was my bad.
That's all right. We will postpone that until the next meeting.
Well,
Is that okay, Jim?
I'm actually going to try tomorrow.
That's
Get the
The
2
meeting
days.
being on Friday, so
exactly. So if it's not ready, it's not ready. Hey, we're all overwhelmed. Whenever you get to it. Thank you, sir.
So
Any
agenda approved modifications. Sure.
Announcements from the board. I'd like to announce that the in-person absentee voting registrar's assistants were duly educated yesterday. And the new registrar was introduced to them with ruffles and flourishes. Anybody have any comments? And I want to say that I hope Rick is feeling better. Yesterday, your poor little voice is still decrepit. We hope you'll maybe let Karen speak for you today if it's necessary. There are some changes in the in-person absentee voting.
Just a real quick question. Are the folks that work early in person, is the nomenclature we're using assistant registrars or deputy registrars?
Or registrar staff. It doesn't
or
matter.
temporary deputy registrars.
Yeah.
Registrar staff being is temporary.
Good morning. Madam Registrar, would you like to say anything specifically for announcements?
As far as the training yesterday, it went well, and we had great turnout. We held two training sessions. One was in the morning and one was at 6 o'clock last night. So we're very comfortable with our early vote people being trained in that. They're going to also be able to come in and work on our poll pads once they're set up, which is going to be the 15th. We will have training from the knowing people will actually come here and do training. So we'll make sure everybody's comfortable with that.
Were you saying that some of our early in-person people are going to be helping with that?
No, they're not going to be helping with that. But after that point, we're going to have one set up in the office that if they want to come and look at hands-on, because they were used in June, is my understanding,
Right.
but there's quite a few people who did not use them that they're not here. And then again, it's 6 months, and everybody's always more comfortable if they are able to see them again. So, and that's up to them as they come in. We'll just make sure. And then as far as the office, we're up and running well. We have good coverage. I do have a really exciting announcement, and that is what we have hired an elections manager. And he's right here. That's Alex, who has been working as the assistant elections manager. He is taking charge of doing things with the early vote and doing things with all our election workers. So, and he's up and ready to go. And I am actually going to be leaving shortly. I'm conducting an interview in the office. So we're going to have everything. We're going to have a full office staff, and we have people who work in there part-time or giving extra hours, and everyone is just pitching in and helping so that we can get this election going. So
Can you
any other?
add a little more detail to what people working extra?
Okay,
She told me she's working like 30 hours.
Yes, she is. She's one of your election
Chiefs.
officer chiefs, and she is working at the front desk. We don't have our person who is there, so she is answering the phone, transferring calls, answering questions for people at the front desk, and she is taking in applications so that we have that covered. So the office is inviting, and we do invite everybody, please come and see us, see how we're doing. So
See, we have Margaret.
we have Margaret, and Margaret is actually dividing out, they have kept their FPCAs in one notebook, so that's everything. However, because of the way we're going to be handling the absentees being mailed with print elect and the enhanced voting of the email ballots that will go through the state board of elections, we need those divided out so that we can verify our lists and verify our numbers. And so she's in there doing that now and making sure that anyone emailed is highlighted in this pile, and anyone that is mailed is highlighted in this pile. So we will have new records there, and then I'll run the report and check it against that to make sure we have all of them, that nothing.
And Brenda and Brooklyn and Elizabeth.
Okay, they are all willing to give. Most of them have said an extra. Brooklyn still, she works every day, basically for part-time. I think she's in there 4 hours a day, which is about her maximum on that. But Brenda has offered another hour, another day to come in, and Elizabeth has offered another day and extended time if needed. So, and they are actually doing voter registration and scanning and making sure that all the things coming in on the hopper, which is where we get our OV, the ones that come through state board, and also the absentees. Those are all processed through their desks, and they are all working together. And everybody is working in the office. We don't have anybody working outside the office because we all need to be able to share and see what's going on. So I think, again, it's a team effort in there, and we have a great team.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
And with great, we're sad to see you go, but we know that you have busy things to do, and back to your office.
Okay.
Thank you very
I'm going
much.
to turn it over to Alex, who has information.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Bucky's trying to say something.
Oh,
I'm almost certainly out of order, but it's timely. I would propose that we amend our normal order of business so that the third item, which is brief announcements from the board, should be brief announcements from the board and registrar.
Well, we've in the past had,
We had a separate section.
we had a
for
separate
registrar
section for
later in the meeting,
registrar.
But it makes more sense to have it up front.
We can put it up front. And it certainly gives the registrar a chance to say her piece and go back to work.
Jim, is
I'd
that?
love to stay, but
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Is everybody okay with us changing the agenda for next time?
Well, we don't have a
Yep.
registrar report thing on the agenda anyway, so.
Well, for today, we don't. So we've moved it now. From now on, it will go into brief announcements, board and registrar. Alex, can you stay for the rest of the meeting, or would you like to go back and do the work we just do? You work me.
I'm caught up.
Okay, all right. We'll leave you under new business because you've got some things for.
That's fine.
Public comment, we ask that the people who are either on the remote or in the room, limit your time to 3 minutes if you can. At the beginning of the meeting, if you have a comment or a question during the course of the agenda, please raise your hand either remotely or in the room. And if you raise your hand, you'll be recognized. When you are recognized, please state your name and any affiliation from which you may be speaking. You don't have to tell us that you are choir director someplace. That's really not germane, but I see Rick Garrett's name, hand up first. Go ahead. Pardon? Garnett, what did I say?
Garrett.
Rick, that was an
Read.
Bucky does,
Print.
no. Bucky does not understand the inside joke. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's Karen Yule Nielsen speaking. I didn't hear who the welcoming person was. that they have assigned. When Debbie was talking, they said someone's going to be welcoming, I guess that's replacing Steve. Who is
Yeah.
that?
It's Sharon Wheeler.
Oh,
Is there-
Sharon. I didn't, okay.
She
I
is
didn't,
the chief officer of election and
oh,
she
I
is.
know Sharon. Yeah.
No, but for the rest of the people, she's a chief officer and she has worked part-time in the registrar's office for years.
Yeah.
Usually
I just
sees
didn't hear them.
elections. Yeah, Sharon Wheeler. Lori,
Hi,
I had
I
one.
actually was talking to Jim about this yesterday and I got some clarification. There was a,
but we are having some staccato sound in your voice. It was the same thing for Karen. So if you will maybe speak slowly until we can see if we can get the sound, we'll still be able to hear you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
okay, that's okay. I heard Karen fine, so it's definitely on your end. UVA the UVA Democrats were putting out some information for their students on how to vote. And they mentioned using the electronic UVA ID. UVA is now issuing an electronic ID to first years. And so I just wanted to let you know that because I know that's new. And to make sure you're training your EOs and chiefs on accepting the UVA ID electronically if that student has that ID.
The guidance from, we are aware that the University of Virginia has issued electronic name badges for their students. Jim spoke with somebody, or Bucky, somebody yesterday, had spoken with one of our officers of election who was helping move-ins, and there were some problems with the electronic devices. They were not working as well as they should have. We have gotten no official communication from the University of Virginia. The Code of Virginia and the guidance from the Department of Elections stipulates that wherever electronic IDs are issued by a college or university in Virginia, they are to be accepted as the ID for that student. The problem is we don't have a master list for all the colleges and universities that use electronic. Now, you know, we have a lot more students in the University of Virginia than we have other students. We know that they have them, but we have not been given any information from the university. And yesterday was really this weekend when students were using them to check in at the university. So we appreciate your advising us. And sometime between now and the first day of in-person absentee voting, we will be in communication with the university to give us some information and find out if indeed they have fixed the problems that these students are having with their IDs. Yes, Jim.
So I have checked a couple of places. One is obviously from a press release from UVA saying these are now there. I am awaiting a return message from the Associate Vice President of Student Affairs verifying that these are there. Nothing has been said about not working in the way that we need them to work.
We don't know.
What's not working for some of them is getting indoors. Badges aren't opening the doors, but the electronic badge is still, it's got the information on it that we need to have, then they are, to my opinion, ready to go. But I'm still awaiting word from the Associate Vice President.
We need to know what a student is going to present. What's it going to look like? How does it operate? Because there are electronic badges and there are electronic IDs, and our officers, we can't teach the officers what they're going to see unless we know what they're going to see. So we're not saying we're not going to use them. We're not saying we're not going to accept them. certainly we're not saying that. But what we are saying is we need more information from the university so we know what to tell our officers to expect. It's the same thing with the mobile IDs. It's not just walk up and show your phone. And Bucky yesterday for our in-person absentee staff went over and showed people exactly how to use it and what it looks like, and even printed out a paper walkthrough instructions, which we'll have for people in-person absentee as well as on election day. We need a similar set of information guidelines from the university. Jim, if you'd like to work on that, that'd be great.
So if I may, I want to make sure I understand what you're saying. Obviously, they are acceptable by law because the law doesn't say you have to talk to UVA first. But in order to train your EOs, you need to get some information from UVA as to what they look like and what information is on there. Is that an accurate summary?
Yes, that's what I said.
There's
Okay,
another
great.
there's another piece to that, Lori. When the student comes up to check in on the poll pad, if they just hold their phone out with something on the screen, that could be a picture of something. And so
Right, right.
the application where they verified who they are and they bring up that information, that's an acceptable form of ID. But we'll need them to demonstrate that they're using the application in some
Right.
fashion. And we don't know what that looks like yet. So we'd like to be able to give our EOs some information. Obviously, we don't want the EOs looking at their password or, trying to fiddle with their biometrics or something if that's what's required to unlock it. But the same concern came up with the Virginia mobile ID that the DMV issues. It's exactly the same concern. So
Yep.
just want to make sure
And
that we're the correct ID.
And we reminded the Democrats that as well, to tell the students they can't just take a picture of their ID. That's not acceptable. But all
UVA's
right, thank you.
website says the same thing. So
Great.
Any other questions or comments at this time? Old business. Bucky, you'd like to talk about the Virginia voting system security letter?
well, we have put it on the agenda for today.
Yes.
And I printed off some things to bring a little focus to that. The state's expecting to get a letter from us
Yep.
on local letterhead.
Yep.
And they have an advisor here. And apparently what's required is a review between our registrar and our director of IT. Saying that we've done all the things that we need to do. And obviously we won't discuss any of the particulars of those in an open meeting. But we should probably see about sorting out getting those two things done.
Yeah.
So that we can then issue this letter and file it with the state as they would like us to do.
Yes. I would suggest that we set, I can make the call to set a meeting with whoever the representative is from IT. They have a lot of people that do different things, so we need to speak with the right person. Yes, Jim. If you'd like to volunteer to set that up, be happy for you to.
Well, no, I just am not sure that this particular item, the voting security plan, requires IT to be involved. The other one that was mentioned there, which has the acronym LESS, which I'm not sure what LESS stands for. I believe that's the one that IT basically does the whole thing. I don't think they really do anything with the system security plan. The system security plan, if I recall correctly, this relates to, where are you storing your machines? How many machines do you have? Are they under lock and key? That kind of thing is on that.
That's a different type of security. That's the hardware security.
Which is
And that is one of the security plans that we have to verify.
but I think
just
that
exactly
that
what
is
you
system
described.
security plan.
But we also need to go through our own, particularly after the kerfuffle that we had with the primary of cybersecurity. And we have, Albemarle County has still not issued an all clear everything's been straightened out for the cyber, and we are back into the state system. But as you will remember, because Albemarle was hacked, Albemarle had problems. We could not, Albemarle County Registrar's Office could not get into the state system because they didn't want us bringing whatever was wrong with our system into their system. And we were delayed and it was a problem. So I think we need to have the prudent thing to do is to have an IT meeting with the registrar, with our election manager, with our staff, with us to know what we know and know what we don't know. And I would agree with you that there are two different security systems. One is locking down of and securing our hardware. The other is our IT.
And I think the voting systems, when I was saying, I think the voting system security plan does not deal with the IT part of it. They deal with the equipment part of it. But we need to find what we have filed before and see exactly what that voting system security, we don't know what it looks like, right?
I do not have a copy.
But just because it was filed before doesn't mean it's the same thing that we
But
would
it
file
would be a
now.
good start to
But
start.
it's a
to
good
find
place to find it.
that. Obviously, to issue this letter, we need to have met with IT because we're
Exactly.
certifying that we did so.
Madam Chair, if I may, I just looked at the two statutes that are referenced in the letter. And 24.2-410.2 does refer to the electronic IT systems. 24.2-625.1 refers to the actual physical location. So that would be two separate considerations.
That second one is the one that I think this is. Perhaps talking to Angie at Elect and saying, do we have a template? Because right now we really need to look at what was submitted last year and see, that's what we've done before, and see what modifications we need to do on what was done last year. I don't know where that plan is.
Nobody sitting at the table knows because it's somewhere in a laptop, etc. None of us has access, and neither does the registrar. But we can certainly look at it. But the only thing we have to look at as able counsel just quoted the code, and what I just said before that, they're two separate security plans that we have to certify. So I would suggest that you will, Jim, if you'd like to look into this, by all means, we'd love to have that.
Let me take this
Please
as
do.
action. We carry this football down the field to contact IT, to hunt for templates,
Yeah.
to search for files that we have tucked away somewhere, all of the above, and get back to this group
That'd
as
be
soon as
great.
possible.
That'd be lovely.
Is that okay?
Okay, and I can work with you with that.
Sure.
Thank you. The ADA inspections and certifications, they were not done last year. That does not, Bucky's the only person that doesn't have to hang his head. Jim and I have to hang our heads. Wasn't done last year. We have discussed this, and assumptions are always the ruination of any plan. But we have assumed that if we're using a county building such as a school, they've met ADA. I would suggest that contact person for the school system be contacted so they can provide the ADA facilities report that the schools are, and the doors and the rooms we use are ADA compatible. And if the county certifies that, then we may be able to do a quick run through on the schools. The other buildings that we use, we're going to have to divide up amongst the three of us and go visit those and actually go through it. I would also suggest that we meet, and I know this person because I've talked to him when we went into our new polling place at Harvest Church.
The person being the
Facilities.
county ADA person.
That's correct. We go with that person or that person's designated representative and visit each one of these places and get it done and get it over with. And if we can get that done next week, that would be lovely. Or the week after, I know, Bucky, you know,
As soon as we can.
as soon as we can, I think is a good
And-
phrase.
And yeah, and I'd like to see if the county ADA person will actually go
They will,
to the non-school places.
they will,
And check them out.
That'd be great.
they will.
I didn't print copies of the 11-page checklist, just to save trees.
Thank you. I think I know I have it. And I think we did it for Harvest Church because we all went over there. And they certainly were gracious in coming that day. 2 of them came. So I'll check with facilities ADA person. New business from anyone.
We had Division of Labor.
Yeah, we had talked before about this so that everybody was trying to do everything or nobody was trying to do things that need to be done. And I still think that it would be a good idea to have some division of labor in terms of us just having some oversight of what's the staff is doing and going on and different, Bucky had listed out different things, DS-300 preparation, poll pad preparation, ballots, cages, election officers, training, early in-person voting administration, absentee ballot assessing, Monday pickup and Tuesday drop off. All those young people helping us with that.
We're not going to have that this year.
Well,
You're not going to be available.
well, those
we-
people aren't going to be available, but somebody needs to know how we're going to do that. Ensuring polling places are ready for election day. The calls that need to be made to polling places saying, "Hey, you remember November 4th?" Yeah. One that I was going to offer to, and I have oversight on simply because I live so close, is the early in-person voting administration. I can
That's-
come up here in the morning and make sure everything is done. I can come back in the evening and make sure everything is done.
That's the registrar's job.
Well, I'm talking about oversight by the electoral board.
Yep.
That's what we were talking about when we talked about division of labor.
We understand what the board does. But it's the registrar's office. If the registrar wants to ask one of us to help do whatever, she certainly can do that. But and she certainly may do that. But
Then I
that's what,
offer to ask her if she would like me
Oh.
to help with that.
by all means.
Does anybody else want to kind of have that kind of oversight on?
I don't want to be here for early in-person voting, early in-person absentee voting, but
I see you as the poll pad person.
the registrar has spoken to me about working on poll pads.
Yep.
And Alex has already spoken to me about helping to load his cages with the DS-300s. But I think that had more to do with brute strength than my electoral board position. But I accepted it as the compliment it was.
I would suggest that we all look through that list and by Friday, sort of think of what we might be best suited to do and capable of doing and run through that list there. I will say that regarding the cages, we are all going to help load the cages. We have never done. I know it is done by the electoral boards in many other localities. There's a lot of material that goes into those cages and a lot of material that has to be checked. We have checked because I've done it, Bucky's done it, Previous board members have done it.
I haven't, but I will now.
Thank you. We need to go down and make sure after it's all loaded, but we need to help go down there and put the stuff in the cages. And that really can't be done until after we finish LNA testing, because it's easier to get the DS300s in the cage, locked down, and then put all the other stuff in.
Yeah, step one.
Step one is
Load scanner.
get the scanners in.
Yeah.
And then we can put all the other stuff in. But there's a lot that goes in there. And Alex is doing a lot of work, so we can,
It's a good day to get your steps in.
exactly. And your weightlifting, as you pointed out. So let's look at that list and be prepared at Friday's meeting to take responsibility for whatever. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes.
And add to that, as much responsibility as we can take. Now we're doing that in consultation with the registrar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Lori has her hand up.
Oh, Lori, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I was waiting for y'all to finish anyway. That's fine. I'm a little concerned because I may not be hearing you properly, but it sounds like Jim is recommending some form of oversight to a registrar who just walked into office, and Alex, who has never held this job before previously, and you're going to wait for the registrar to ask for that oversight. And as a public member, I would like to know that the electoral board is keeping track of what's happening to not only offer assistance, which is of course super important, but to make sure that these individuals are going to be able to do the job. And so I'm concerned by saying we're going to wait for the registrar to reach out and not, and maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, because I do think you have oversight of the registrar.
Well,
Let me respond to that. The registrar that is here now is not new to her job. She may be new to Albemarle County, but she's done elections as the general registrar in Harrisonburg for 12 years. And she's been doing general elections and special elections while working part-time in the registrar's office in Waynesboro. The Code of Virginia, so she knows what needs to be done. The Code of Virginia, and I would offer you that you read 24.2- the chapter 700, specifically and expressly says that the in-person absentee voting for 45 days takes place in the registrar's office or a satellite of that office. And that it is under the supervision, control, auspices. Those are my words, not the code's words. But it says supervision in the code of the registrar. We were invited to help with the teaching last night because it was one thing we could do with her there to help. But the registrar is responsible for, and always has been, and is in every locality. And this registrar is clearly up to the task. And if she wants
Maybe
to invite,
maybe I didn't state this well.
if she wants to invite us, and we certainly can offer, but we don't want to overstep our bounds.
So,
Now, let
so
me ask
maybe
you-
I, go ahead.
Let
Sorry,
me
Jim,
answer
go ahead.
then. What we're saying is that we will ask Debbie, do you want us to assist in some way with this particular task of the many tasks that are involved? And if we would like our help with it, then we can give help. But we can't give help in everything, everybody. So that's the reason for the division of labor. But once again, saying we will ask whether she wants our help on it.
One more,
No,
one more pile on there, Lori. As a practical matter, we're in the office every day, and have been for quite some while, and probably will be for a while. So oversight, not really a problem.
well, and that's, Becky, that's, I think, exactly what, and maybe I didn't state my question well. I want to reassure the public that there is oversight, not necessarily that you're doing her job. That's not what I suggest. I want to make sure that as the electoral board has oversight over the registrar, you hire her, you do her performance review, you do have oversight, and you will have oversight because this person is brand new to our county. We don't know her. She has experience, and that's fantastic, and I expect her to do a wonderful job. I have I'm very optimistic, but I think the public, after the whole office under this board's leadership has been decimated, the public would like to know that the electoral board is going to have some oversight. And I think Bucky just answered my question, so thank you.
Thank you.
You're in the room.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Is there any
Name for the record.
sorry, Diane McNeil, is there any statutory language specifically addressing responsibilities, the do's and the don'ts of an interim registrar versus just registrar?
The registrar is hired and appointed by the electoral board. The responsibilities of the interim are no different than the responsibilities of a full-term registrar.
Good answer to my question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, yeah, there's
Good
not-
question.
There
There
is
is no
no,
different.
there is no specific.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
In fact, the term interim registrar, I don't even think appears.
No, the interim is something we applied to make it clear that this is not the permanent registrar.
Got it.
That's all. But otherwise,
Okay, but
this,
there's no
you could
special
read this
language.
just as registrar, so. But where the registrar is appointed on a 4-year basis, terms expiring, as fixed interval, the next one I think expires in June 30th of 2027.
Yep.
We don't expect that this appointment will last that long. We're expecting this registrar to step away because she's only stepped in to help us out.
Thank you. Any other items?
I would just like to, I asked briefly earlier this morning, but since today is the deadline for the big file dump of all our permanent absentee list to print elect in North Carolina, and you said it's coming along. Can you elaborate a little more?
I know I'm supposed to have a call later this morning, sometime about 12 o'clock to talk to see where we are and everything. So that's all I know right now. Just want to be heard with that.
And I can elaborate on that also. The September the 10th deadline was set by Print Elect. That's their deadline. When that deadline was set and agreed by the previous registrar, no one had any idea of the upheaval that was going to take place and all of the jobs that needed to be done and completed. And so if we have to extend that deadline to Print Elect, and I have been on the phone with Print Elect. I know Debbie, the registrar, has been on the phone with Print Elect. Alex has been on the phone with Print Elect. They understand our circumstances. And we have to have a valid list to send to them. And that's the problem, getting a valid list to send to them electronically. And Debbie and Alex are working on that feverishly. And Print Elect understands that.
I don't understand why we don't have a valid list.
Well,
Gina showed me where the report is in Veris. And she said that's the list that has to be sent to them. So I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It's
Nothing valid.
that list has been reviewed. And it may not be as reported to you. And that's all I can say.
Given that we don't actually have any vision into Veris whatsoever.
Correct.
We're talking way out of our
We are.
sphere of knowledge.
That is up to the
So
registrar.
I took it upon myself to say, where in Veris is it? And I was shown where it was.
Right, but you
Yeah.
have to figure that the list is only valid if the data have been properly maintained. If you've got all your deaths and moves and move-ins and new registrations all updated and in there. I could imagine some of that didn't happen, but honestly, I don't know. Or didn't happen timely.
A follow-up question. Once we do get them the big list, then between now and September 19th, do they want us to send them a daily update of that? Or do they want us to wait until September 19th, which is when stuff has to go out, to send whatever absentee requests we've gotten between today, if you get it done today, and the 19th?
The code requires that all of the permanent absentee ballots that have been requested, someone's put in a marked form that says, I want a permanent absentee ballot for all elections, has to be mailed by whatever organization is mailing it, whether it's the registrar's office or a third party. They must be mailed by close of business on the first day of in-person absentee voting. That's code. Any other request that has come to the registrar's office before that date must be mailed. For this year, it's September the 19th, the first day of in-person absentee voting. So it doesn't matter whether they go in. They go in to the print, they go into the, whoever the mailing organization is, whether it's the registrar's office or third party. As soon as the ballots are ready to be mailed, so as soon as they're available. And that depends on filing deadlines, people meeting their candidates, meeting their filing deadlines. As far as we know, our ballots are being printed because there are no filing deadlines. There's nobody waiting to file. They can't file. They can't get their name on the ballot. They're going in. And Print-Elect has said, we will take your first batch, but right now, people in the office are looking at requests for absentee ballots to get those people onto the list so they can get their ballot.
That's not at all the question I asked. I asked a very technical question as to, once we've sent the big file, then do they immediately want daily files up to and then after September 19th? Or do they want us to wait and the update, the new file that they would take care of then? That's a totally technical question.
And I'm answering the answer. It says they,
Can I suggest this isn't actually?
It's not.
This is
It's
something to
really
follow
not.
up with the registrar's office after the meeting. Because we don't know.
I know,
It's
but
not what we do.
we'll cut it out. It's not our responsibility. Okay, anything else? Okay, next, Yes, sir.
Where are you on the agenda?
I want other business, other items.
Okay.
You
I
have
was
any-
wondering if you were headed to executive session. and
No,
I
no,
think
no,
we
no,
need
I'm-
to just talk about the next meeting.
Next
And
meeting.
if we want to schedule any.
I think we do. We've got a meeting on Friday. Everybody look at your calendars. I would strongly suggest that we schedule something additional meeting.
Get proper notice of employee early.
Right.
Right.
That's okay. We're tied up on the
We're-
15th, so.
15th, we're knowing all day.
I thought we had 3 days.
Not including the day of.
Thank you. Always good to have counselor with us. So
3 days would be the 15th, but we can't do the 15th because we're doing full path 15th.
16th is the first day we can schedule a meeting. Do we want to schedule a meeting for the 16th? Want to try to think that maybe we will have things we need to clean up since we've been working with no ink all day, 15th, and wait until the 17th. Pleasure of the board.
I will not be available.
That's right. I forgot. Thank you, Bucky. I'm sorry. So how about the 18th? 18th, okay? Jim?
Okay.
Okay,
9 o'clock,
9 o'clock.
Jim?
Yeah, but let's remember that's the day before the IP starts. So
Yep.
we're doing some setup there. Plus, are we? The logic and accuracy testing of the poll prints. When are we going to do that?
We're going to
As
talk,
soon as we have them configured and can give
Exactly.
notice to the party chairs and let them know.
and that's one of the topics on the Zoom call with No Ink this afternoon.
Okay,
And then we're with No Ink all day on the 15th.
okay. 9 AM on the 18th.
All in favor? Anybody have any objections to 9 AM on 18th? Okay. So the next meeting, we have a meeting on Friday, this Friday at 9 AM. And then we have our next meeting after that on Thursday, the 18th at 9 AM.
Just confirm.
Thank you. Thank you. While he's typing, I think we all need to say again how grateful we are that Bucky actually has IT expertise and he has taken over the job that was previously done by the chief deputy in scheduling rooms and getting the Zoom. Thank you all who are in the outer spheres that you can get on the call because of Bucky.
We have the room scheduled all day on general elections. That's the room scheduled the whole day of the 18th. So it's ours.
Which room? Which room?
This room.
Good. Okay. Room B.
No,
Say-
this is room C.
I'm sorry. We've got room B, right?
We're in room C.
Yeah, but which one do we have?
We have room A, and
Yep.
out of the goodness of our hearts, we let the police have room B that day.
Okay.
But we have room C.
We have
on
room
the-
C.
We have room C
Okay.
all day.
So we have, oh, good for you. Good for you.
Done before my time.
Okay. So it will be in the big room across the hall.
No, let's work on this again. This
That
is room
big-
C. This is the room we have. We
Thank
will
you.
be in this room on the 18th.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Room C. Okay. Anything else we need to do? New business, other items. Going once. We scheduled our next meeting. Suppose that we go into executive session. It's based on the code section 2.2-37 parentheses A-1. We will go into executive sessions for. Jim wants me to read the exact verbiage. I move that the Albemarle County Electoral Board convene a closed meeting pursuant to section 2.2-3711 parentheses A of the Code of Virginia. Under subsection 1 to discuss and consider applications for prospective candidates for employment for the position of general registrar and to discuss and consider personnel matters, review of officer of election applications and assignments.
That's, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I so moved, we all go into executive session.
Pause the recording.
Okay, the Albemarle County Electoral Board is back in open session. Time is 10:22. Pursuant to the code section 2.237-11/4, we are coming out of closed session. We all affirm that we only discuss the matters which we said we were to discuss, personnel matters, officer of election matters. And only those people who were supposed to be in the meeting were in the meeting. And we ask for a motion to be back in open session.
So moved.
All in favor, aye.
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 We set our next meeting, as we noted before we left, for Friday, and then another one for next week, all at 9 o'clock. And unless there's other meeting business, we will adjourn.
Just
Yes,
to
ma'am.
clarify for this
Sure.
record, our next meeting for Friday had been set
It's been
previously.
scheduled, yeah,
The one for next week is
is the one we
on
said,
Thursday
yeah.
is the only. one
I
we
thought
set.
that was what I said, maybe I didn't. Okay. All,
We adjourn.
all in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
The afternoon's meeting